Okay, you guys are witnessing a new generation or a new era of Casey. I am always improving. I'm always leveling up my concepts. I'm always improving my dating life too, which means I'm giving some real life, like live comprehensive breakdowns of the things I do and why I do these things, and just added things that I've discovered over the years. This one actually ties into today's topic of why women are attracted to men that they cannot easily seduce, because this was me, right? Like, I was the guy who I self-improved, right? And that's what most guys do, is they self-improve. They increase their looks, their money, and their status, but they still don't attract the type of women that they want. And this is why a man has to master the language of women. So one of our community members, he has been loving the language of women so far. He goes, man, this is the missing puzzle in my game. I was so confused why, after getting so much social status, why I was still unable to make things happen. And that is the problem that I have been solving for men inside of this movement. So today, the video that I'm making is the 6 reasons why women are attracted to men that they cannot easily seduce. And I actually kind of like discovered this almost by accident. So what happened was, as I got older, I was like, you know what, I don't necessarily know if it's good for me to, just be out there like casually dating, or to, sleep with these women even if they have interest in me. Like, I didn't know. There was some uncertainty in my own heart and how I started to move. And then I actually started to say these things to the women if I was on a date, or like if we were watching a movie. Like, I'd say things like, that's not good. Like if she tried to escalate on me, or if she started to like kiss me, or she wanted to seduce me, I'd say things like, oh, that's not good, we shouldn't do that. Or I'd say things like, oh, I'm trying to be better, like stop, you're going to seduce me, I'm trying to be better, like quit, we really shouldn't. I would say these things, and I would actively push away the intimacy. I would actively push away the potential sex. And I noticed that this would just make their attraction increase and increase and increase, and I couldn't figure out why. For the longest time, like, I couldn't figure out why. And then another thing clicked for me again. I started to realize that, like, obviously if you sleep with women, your emotions become susceptible if you potentially were to fall in love with that girl. So then I would actually tell them that. I would actually tell them, I don't want to sleep with you, or I don't want to have sex, because then I might fall in love and I don't want to spend all day thinking about you. And I would say, and then I'm going to start to care about you, so I don't want that to happen. So notice, I would actually tell them this, and then I noticed that it would make them want it even more, or it would make them want me to invest in them in that level even more. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I started to realize, I took a step back and I was like, holy shit, this is way different than how every other guy right now on planet Earth is operating. And this is almost a cheat code, because it's like you're the one guy where your pleasures don't control you. So I took some time in my notebook today and I wrote down the 6 reasons why. And there's 6 specific reasons that I came to terms with as to why women are super attracted to men that they cannot easily seduce, especially if this is a woman who's super beautiful, or she's used to having a lot of male validation and a lot of male attention. I'm going to go through each of these. So number 1, what happens if she can't easily seduce you is she feels that you are in her league for once. Like, she feels like she finally met a guy who's in her league. Now, the reason why this is important is because most men tend to give off energy where the guy seems like he's below them. Okay, so she feels like you are a real contender who's actually in her league. Or she even starts to question and think, is this guy out of my league? Right? Like, what league, or, how am I stacking up compared to his options? How is he stacking up compared to mine? These are the psychological subconscious thoughts that are now flowing through her brain. So she feels like you are in her league. See, this is what you have to remember. Anytime a woman is going to sleep with a guy, or potentially sleep with a guy, she's constantly trying to get a good read or gauge your sexual market value. Like, she's trying to get a read on your sexual market value to see where do you stack up. Because women can't necessarily gauge this just off of face value looking at you, because they're looking at everything. They're looking at your style, your vocal tone, your personality, how you socialize with others, if the other men respect you. All of these tiny little micro nuances and sub-communications actually stack up. So when they stack up, okay, and she starts to see that you're the guy that isn't won over through just beauty, or you're the type of guy who maybe you don't want to do that with her, she instantly feels like she found a guy who is on her level or in her league. And now she wants you even more, because that's what you have to remember is women are always optimizing for the best. So the second that she is now in the position of pursuing sleeping with you or intimacy on any level, or she's pursuing the sex, this actually raises her attraction. So that's the first reason, okay? She feels like you are in her league. Now, number two, this is something that most guys don't have. The second reason why women are attracted to men that they cannot easily seduce is because sexual discipline as a man shows abundance of options and zero thirst. So instantly, if you have a lot of discipline in that area, she's going to look at you and she's going to say, whoa, is this guy getting laid twice a day? Is this guy getting laid every single day? Like, how many options does he have where this guy doesn't even care if we sleep together or not? Because you have to understand, most men are so needy, most men are so thirsty, most men desire so much intimacy, so much love. They want affection, they want the love or the sex from a woman so bad. Because this controls them, they have no discipline over their own pleasures. So if you actually have discipline in this area, it shows abundance of options because there is no thirst. Okay? So instantly she starts to wonder, does he have a girlfriend? Does he have another woman who maybe he has his eyes on or his heart on that he wants? Is he emotionally invested in a different woman right now that isn't me? So once again, this shows abundance of options. It shows no thirst. You have true discipline over your pleasures. This is something that most men today really don't have. And it's very hard for a woman to come across a guy who has options, where he has enough focus in his life and purpose in his life and things going on in his life where that doesn't control him. Because you got to understand, most men today, their top of mind awareness 24/7 is if they can get the attention or the text message back from a woman. So when she sees like, this doesn't control you, this is amazing. Because you got to understand too, to actually meet up with a woman where both of your guys' schedules match, you have to make sure you aren't busy with work. She has to make sure that she's not busy with work. And if you're not busy with work and she's not busy with work, then on top of that, you have to make sure that out of all the options she does select, you are the one guy that she wants to maybe go out with. Well, okay. She's going to instantly feel like, oh my gosh, I selected this guy. I'm on a date with him. He selected me. Why is it that he doesn't want to progress things? So this is seriously a hidden cheat code if you have enough, competency to understand this. So now number three, let's go on to the third point. The third reason why women are attracted to men that they cannot easily seduce is because number three, she starts trying to find reasons that she should sleep with you instead of reasons to disqualify you and reasons not to. Okay, so here's what you have to remember. Every single time a guy is showing his interest level, every single time that a guy is showing his intent with a woman, every single time that a guy is showing that he really wants her or that he's trying to, progress things to the bedroom, all this does is it gives off energy where she starts to question or doubt your dating market value, and she tries to find reasons to disqualify you. She's trying to look at you as an individual, and she says, okay, what are all of the things about him that I don't like? Maybe I don't like how his voice sounds when he says this. Maybe he seems a little bit strange in this area. Whatever the case may be, she's trying to find reasons not to sleep with you. Okay, this is the situation most men end up in. Now, when you actually have some discipline over your pleasures, and she starts to figure out, or she starts to see that her attraction is raising because she can't easily seduce you, okay, now she's actually starting to try to find reasons she should sleep with you. And now all of a sudden she looks at you from a totally different lens. She's looking at you going, he made me laugh when he said this. Oh, he's really funny. Oh, you can tell he has a lot of things going on in his life and he doesn't necessarily care. I wonder if he likes me. These are all of the things that she says. And then if you say things like I said earlier, where you're like, I don't want to sleep with you because then I'm going to start to care about you and then I'm going to start to want you and I'm going to think about you. Well, now she really wants to play that game. And she's sitting there going, care about me, think about me. I want you to think about me. I want you to obsess about me. I want you to think about texting me in the morning. And now she really, really wants to get you emotionally invested. See, this is what you have to understand about women. They want your emotional care and they want your emotional validation that you are invested into them as a man. So the second that they can't get that, they try to find ways to obtain it. And sleeping with you, a lot of times, is the way that they will try to potentially, do or navigate, or they will try to sleep with you in order to obtain that emotional care. They are trying to make you fall in love, okay? So that's number 3. She starts to find reasons that she should sleep with you instead of reasons not to. Now, number 4. This is a spin off of my earlier line. If you tell her, I can't have sex with you or I'll start to care about you, now she wants the validation. Now she wants the care. Now she wants the emotional investment. Now she wonders, well, why doesn't he want to care about me? Okay? You have to understand something about life. Anything that is won over easy is not valued. Anything that is given away easily isn't valued. So you have to understand, most men are so willing to care, most men are so willing to invest, most men are so willing to talk to her and spend lots of time with her and start to emotionally invest into her, that if you are the one guy who doesn't, she instantly tries to gain your approval. Because you got to understand this, anything that is in scarce supply ultimately has value. Okay, if I have a bunch of watches and you can just buy these watches any day of the week at a store, these watches are not very valuable. But if there's scarcity to a specific watch, if I say, hey, this watch, if you buy it, there's only 3 of them in the entire world, and they're only in this specific color, and we will probably never make this edition ever again, instantly the value goes up. So you have to understand something. Because hypergamy is always optimizing for the best, she is wanting to obtain the care, the attention, the validation, and the approval, as well as the guy who emotionally invests into her. She is wanting to obtain that from only the best man that she possibly can find. So you doing this creates a frame where you are actually appearing like you are higher value than majority of the other options that she could choose. Now, number 5, the 5th reason why women are attracted to men that they can't easily seduce is because now she questions her beauty. Now, if she questions her beauty, now she wants you more. This is a very simple one to understand. If you don't desire to sleep with her, she instantly goes, am I beautiful enough to win over this man? Am I pretty enough? Am I feminine enough? Do I do the right things to make this man feel a certain type of way? See, that's what you have to remember. Most men today are so concerned about making sure that she feels a specific way. If you reverse this dynamic and you say, okay, you know what? She has to bring certain things to the table to make me feel a certain way, so I want to do these things with her. You are now a man who is not coming across as thirsty, and it actually appears as if you have way more options. And last but not least, number 6, you are now stronger than the other men out there. Why? Because your pleasures do not control you. Every single man that she typically sees, doesn't matter how tall he is, doesn't matter how rich he is, doesn't matter how successful he is, most men are completely attached to their own pleasures, meaning their pleasures control them. When she sees that you have more emotional stability than that, you appear stronger than the rest. You are actually operating your own life out of order and doing things properly to maintain your own emotional stability, and this is something that she can't find for most men. So these are the 6 reasons why women are attracted to men that they can't easily seduce. And guys, here's what I can tell you. Every single day inside of our movement, every single day inside of our community, I am watching these guys' lives totally change. They are coming together and they are connecting inside of the brotherhood. They are actually forming real friendship. They are starting to win in their dating life. They're starting to get more dates. They're starting to actually level up and become the type of man that they were called to be. And right now, because we have over 370 men inside of this, I'm watching this network actually grow every single day. I have created literally the strongest environment for you to actually get real success as a man. One of the guys in our community goes, been loving the language of women so far, and then he says, man, this is the missing puzzle in my game. I was so confused about why after getting so much social status, why I am still unable to make things happen. And see, the reason why I made The Language of Women, which was a process that's been over 10 years in the making, is because that was the exact same situation that I was in. Because guys start to question, and guys sit there and wonder, and they go, well, I self-improved, I leveled up my looks, my money, my status, I did all of the things on paper that everybody told me was supposed to get me to the desired outcome, and my dating life still hasn't improved. So that's why I created this, and it's just super cool to actually see guys getting results in real life with this.